If you have the courage and daring enough to face ghosts or even see them from afar, join us today in our exciting tour of the 10 most terrifying places you can visit around the world. 1. Aokigahara Forest, Mount Fuji, Japan. Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Suicide Forest, is located in the northwest of Mount Fuji in Japan, and it is the most popular place for suicide in the world after the Golden Gate Bridge. Nearly 100 people a year go to this forest, but they never return from it, even if you walk among its trees towering, which leaves in the Solaw. You will see human skulls and bones scattered as if you were one of the heroes of scary horror movies. So would you dare to visit it alone one day? 2. Island of the Dolls, Mexico. As you walk on the Mexican island of the Dolls, you will feel as if you are under surveillance at all times. You are here among the 10 most terrifying places in the world. It is supposed, according to legends and farmers' sayings, that it is inhabited by those dolls spread on the branches of trees, which are said to stare at passers-by through the channels opposite the island in a form fishy and scary. Although this island is completely devoid of humans, its inhabitants are a group of frightening dolls that a person named Don Julian Santana collected and published in this exciting way, as it is said that he found, on one of his visits to the island, the body of the child who died in the past on the island floating in one of the channels. And when he tried to extract it, he found it just a doll and not a real body of the child. So he was sure that what he saw was a ghost of the child. And from that day he left his family and lived alone on the island and took it upon himself to decorate the island with those dolls. And it is said that he was bartering vegetables and fruits that he was growing on the island in exchange for any one of the dolls that he believed to keep away the spirit that haunted him until he died and was found drowned in the same place where he had seen the body of the child before. 3. Union Cemetery, Connecticut, USA. Union Cemetery in Easton, Connecticut is not the most terrifying cemetery in Connecticut, but many observers consider it the most fearful and terrifying cemetery in the United States, and one of the 10 most terrifying places in the world. And if you are able to confront, there is a ghost that appears there for a woman wearing a white dress, who is the most visible among the other ghosts. And many photographers were able to take some pictures of it, as it often appears on the public road, as it appeared to a firefighter in 1993. And a farmer passing near the cemetery saw a woman wearing a straw hat sitting next to him in the car. And for this reason security is provided the cemetery by the police at night. 4. Rainham Hall, Norfolk, England. Rainham Hall is located in a country house in Norfolk, England, dating back 300 years. And the hall was famous for being the most terrifying place of all time, given that in 1936 a photographer took a picture of the room in which the ghost of Mrs. He prevented her from going out until she died until her ghost appeared as she descended the stairs. 5. Abandoned Military Hospital, Bielitz-Hellstatten Hospital, Germany. The Bielitz-Hellstatten Hospital Complex, Germany, which was built at the end of the 1800s, and which is famous for its frightening scenes and walls covered in horror features, so that you will hold your breath once you pass through the tools in it. And it is the place where Adolf Hitler received his treatment after he wounded his leg in the Battle of the Somme in 1916. The hospital has remained under the military rule of the Soviet Union until 1995. 6. Catacombs, Paris. Imagine yourself inside one of the large boxes filled with the bones of the dead. This is what can be achieved when you visit the catacombs in Paris, which is a cemetery for about 6 million bodies that were collected in this place in 1787. There you will see skeletons engraved between the walls around you everywhere. In fact, if you are of the weak-hearted, we do not advise you to visit this place whose walls are made up of dead bones and human skulls. 7. Tuol Sing Museum, Cambodia. The Tal Sinai Museum in Cambodia was an old high school, but it later turned into a large prison in which nearly 1,700 people were imprisoned, only 12 of whom were left alive. It is said that the ghosts of these dead appear in the museum at night. Therefore, a visit there during the day may be possible, but making this decision during the night you have to think more than once. 8. Highgate Cemetery in London. This cemetery of a frightening nature was built in 1839, but it was neglected later until it turned into a spot that only ghosts visit. So many confirm that the cemetery now appears in it wandering ghosts all the time, and even hear the echoes of their voices reverberating in the place. And the most famous ghosts that appeared were of a man tall, wearing a long coat and hat with a terrifying look, and various other figures with glowing eyes rouse fears. 9. Edinburgh Castle, Scotland. When you visit some rooms in the famous Edinburgh Castle, you will feel a sudden drop in temperature while sensing a person passing by. This is confirmed by many visitors who saw with their own eyes ghosts wandering around the castle, some of them beheaded and others of women and workers who used to work in the castle in the past, until it was classified as one of the 10 most terrifying places in the world. 10. London Tower. 10 most terrifying places around the world. Yes, we are talking about the Tower of London, which is the famous historical monument in the city centre on the north bank of the River Thames. But in this list it comes as one of the 10 most terrifying places you can visit around the world. This castle has witnessed many killings and torture, so that many have seen ghosts. She wanders and looks out of the windows inside the castle. And perhaps the most famous of these ghosts is the spirit of Anne Boleyn, one of the wives of Henry VIII, who was also beheaded inside the tower in 1536. And it was said that her ghost was spotted on many occasions carrying her head. Share your opinion. If you have the